Hey guys, RC23 Crashes 100 here, and I am here with another silver unboxing, and today is the video I've been teasing for a few videos back. We are going to be doing a quick experiment here, and we are going to be comparing old Culls with new Culls. We have 4 maples, 4 peace dollars, 3 eagles, and 3 eagles. So we're going to take a look here. Of course, we have the blue tape to cut. You can see this parcel is bulging a bit. That's because I also bought some tubes to put the eagles and maples in. So, let's begin. May the Cull-iest of Culls win. There we go. So, we have a substantially more stuffed package here. No foam in there like usual. I would love to eventually buy and own a whole bag of 90% silver, which I know quite a lot of people do when they unbox stuff from APMEX and other bullion dealers. So let's begin. I'm going to cut down here because I can see that's where the tubes are and I don't want to get them scratched. There we go. Get before that gets spoiled. There we go. In here you can see it's practically bursting at the seams, so let's begin. It's our first piece. Might as well put them all into rough piles in order. Another piece. There's our first eagle. Now I'm hoping this time that we actually get some more varied culls compared to before. Like we actually get some more beaten up ones, because I might as well just show this here compared to this 1995 from the last time. Oh, sorry, that's the 99. I already took that out and put that in the capsule. The eagles last time really weren't that beaten up, so I'm hoping to see some really ugly but still quite pretty in their own way coins, if that makes sense. So let's continue. So over there is our first Morgan, we've taken one out. Here comes another. There is our first tube. Very nice. I intend to fill these with coins, so I might make more videos over time as I put these 2 tubes together. Here is our eagle tube. These were supposedly meant to be slightly used. I can see a bit of sign of usage here, but otherwise that is fine. It's actually really quite in good shape really for tubes. Let's put that over a little bit. Move that knife out of the way, I don't need you anymore. Here's our next maple. Very nice. Just taking a quick look at these, and I will put these in full view in a moment when I'm done with those. There's our eagle. There's our last Morgan. I know there isn't really that much in view, but don't worry, I'm going to put the camera over the whole thing in a moment. Pull the last 2 of these out and see what we've got. These are both maples. Okay. See, I've heard horror stories about maples, and that's why I really was making this video, to see if old culls and new culls, sort of, how they stack up, like genuine wear versus like these horror stories of bullion coins spotting and turning all these ugly colours. So, we are going to see which one of these coins is the most worn, but also which one would fit the definition of cull the most, and we can say that would be our winner. I have my cup of tea, as you can see here, ready to go, so let's begin. We're going to take a look at these coins roughly in order. I'm not going to wear gloves this time, particularly for the actual junk silver, as you might call it. So let's begin. Why not start with a Morgan? So here we have an 1890. Now, the thing which I really liked about APMEX here is these are all from 1878 to 1904, so you're not going to find any of the 1921 Morgans, which tend to generally be in better shape. These are all old Morgans, these are all coins that were actually around during the last days of the Old West, or whatever you like to say. So they've had history. These coins have existed for decades and centuries. In fact, this coin is over 100 years old, 129 years old. So let's begin. Let's take a look. We're going to hold these coins up in detail. Now, feel free to leave in the comments what your opinion is, because, you know, that'd be quite cool. This is really quite smooth. I'm not going to say it's slick, because the design is still all there. Let's see if we have a mint mark. I don't see a mint mark on this. Nope, there's no mint mark, so that is a Philadelphia Morgan, 1890. Very nice. Let's put this on like a stack here. We can do like, stack it up, and we'll put them into separate piles. So we might as well do this in sort of general order of years, so we might as well do a piece now. It's 1922, so I know peace dollars were made in 1921, or a few of them were made there, but I'm not sure if they first started being issued in 1922, so feel free to clarify that in the comments for me. So let's take a look at this one in detail. Now, I really like the eagle design on the back of peace dollars as well. This one is very heavily worn down, but still in reasonably good condition. I'm going to just have to quickly grab my notebook, because I wrote some notes down to make sure I knew where the mint marks were, and see if I could actually spot them. Just open that up now. So the peace dollar mint mark is near the tip of the eagle's wings. Let's see if we can spot any mint mark in there. I think I see one, just there on the end. Let's get close, see what we got. That is a Denver mint mark. Okay, that one has survived the wear and tear. So I'll put you over there. Come on, autofocus. There we go. Let's just move the stuff to the side and see. So now we're going to go with an eagle. Again, this one here seems to be in quite nice condition. It's a 2012. It's got like a rust spot there though, which I can see. That's quite odd. And the rim here has turned black, so something tells me this eagle wasn't really stored in the best place. You've got a few scratches on the field there, so this one is already a little bit more beaten up. Can't tell if that's plastic damage or actual damage to the metal, so yeah, that's kind of interesting. Wonder what happened there to make it like that. Let's take a look. Now I'm going to be handling these bare-handed for once, because these are Culls. These are not BU, they are AU, so you can hold them. Take a close look. Oh, that really was just the plastic, never mind. But yeah, that sort of spot is still there. You've got a few abrasions, but all in all it's not bad really. It's still quite nice. Let's take a look at the other side, see if we can spot anything in there. A few more black marks. Oh yeah, that's definitely toning. Look around the U in United, that's definitely toning. Might keep an eye on that. That might turn into something interesting. So let's put you there. So as you can see, that's the general theme we're going to be going with. This is going to be a longer video, obviously. Let's go with a maple, see what we've got. This maple here, not going to lie, not terrible. Now, when it comes to you guys in the comments deciding which one you think is the best, make up your own mind and like which one do you think is nicest. Could be literally through eye appeal, through wear, through anything like attractive. This is a 2018. Very nice. It's got a little bit of this, I can't tell if that's the end of a hologram, but if you look on the Queen's face here, that's kind of got a vague sort of holographic thing, so maybe that's had something done to it. Can't tell for sure, but that's a genuinely still quite a nice maple. It's probably been tampered with, but that's, by all accounts, it's actually screwing with the camera with the light levels. That is a very shiny and perfectly pretty maple. Very nice. Let's pop you here. Let me take off my jacket, it's getting really hot here. So that's generally what we're going to go with. Now, we might as well keep these in view just while I go and put this together. So, on to the next one. Here's our next Morgan, and I can already tell that this one is in nicer condition than the previous one. There's a scratch here across Liberty's face, but it's not too noticeable. It's a 1900, and again, it's another case of silver aging gracefully, because look at that. That is still very shiny. Most of the detail is still there, at least on this side. That is not bad. I would say that is a VF grade, just by eye appearance there. Or eye appeal, whatever you'd like to call it. Can't get the scissors off my hands. So let's take a closer look. So it's a 1900. It's a 1900O, meaning this one comes from New Orleans. Might have to look that up, see what the rarity on that is. I don't think it's particularly rare, but that's still quite a nice coin. Again, if you look here at the design, actually a lot of it is still there. That's not really very worn, or as worn as I thought it would be. So, 119 years old, and again, it's aged very gracefully. Very nice. So, on to the next piece dollar. This is a 1927, so it's one of the middle of the sort of mintage years, because these stopped being minted in 1935, with the exception of some clad piece dollars in 1964, which are elusive as anything, because I think they've actually all been destroyed. Don't see a mint mark on this one, so that's probably Philadelphia, either that or it's just that worn. I'm looking at it past the camera here, because the autofocus just isn't playing. Nope, there is no mint mark, so that is a Philadelphia piece dollar. Again, as you can see here, this coin has aged quite gracefully. A lot of the wording on the back here is quite worn, but it still stands through, it's still visible, like you can still make out here, United States of America, e pluribus unum, $1, and peace. So, yep, that is a perfectly serviceable coin, very worn, so it's obviously not BU compared to modern coins, modern eagles, but still very nice. Guys, I think we have an old eagle, an older eagle, like an early year eagle. I can make out it's a 1989. Let me just try and get this flipped around. There you go. It's a 1989, and it is showing its age quite beautifully. You can see around the edge it's kind of toning brown, this sort of golden brown, which is quite nice. There are a few black spots here and there, especially on the back. But that is an old eagle. That is a really good date to have. Older eagles tend to carry a bit more value, but of course we're not doing this strictly for numismatics, but that's what I'm keeping them for. So let's get this out. Let's free this eagle and take a closer look. So again, as you can see here up close, this coin really is toning. Got milk spots on the back as well. I quite like kind of how that's almost gone triangular, pointing at the camera screen there, so you can see around the stars. It's almost sort of formed a triangular pattern by that bit of clear metal there, so that's quite nice. Again, that is a 1989, so that is quite a good year to have. You can see it's toning around the edge, around the rim. I'm repeating myself a lot. Yeah, that's a very nice coin. It's heavily toned, but not really that worn. So that might, again, turn into an interesting colour if I leave it be. Let's put that over there. And here is our second maple. And a good way to tell that this is an older maple, or a maple older than a few years old, is the absence of the radial lines on the field. The radial lines, were brought in specifically to limit milk spotting. I don't really see anything that serious on here. It's gone a little bit dull, which is a bit tarnishing, but I imagine that can probably be dealt with. Let's take a look. Clear away that plastic. There we go. Let's take a look here. So, what mint year have we got? I'm interested. It's a 2011. Okay. It's very scratched. Very little hairline scratches here, but the fields are almost kind of matte, which I quite like. That's the word I was somehow forgetting in the video about the Walking Liberty, when it's no longer shiny or glossy, it goes matte. Very nice. Again, a perfectly serviceable maple. Let's see if it will do the same thing with the camera if I shine light on it. Yep, there we go. Yep, so there you go. 1 ounce of Canadian 9999 fine silver. And yeah, it's an inexpensive way to get maples if you're a fan of maples. So yeah, this is a perfectly nice cull. I'm not even sure if I could even call it a cull, really. It's in much nicer condition than that. So, let's continue. Here is our third and final Morgan, and it is another 1890. So we have all got sort of middle of the year Morgans for this time, which is quite nice. Let's take a look at the back and see if we have a mint mark. Again, this one is in roughly the same condition as the other 1890, so can't really comment that much more on it, other than you have some of this silver sulfide, I think. Might be sulfate, I'm not sure, but it's the black mineral which is formed around here, which has given it quite a bit of nice depth. So let's take a closer look. Take a look at that mint mark. It's another O. It's another New Orleans Morgan. Very nice. It's got a bit of a dink. That's quite cool. It's not as bad as I thought it would have been. Now the thing with old coins is it's like every mark, every dink, it all tells its own story. So who knows what happened however many years ago to do that to it. It's not horrible, it's still perfectly serviceable as a coin. I have to admit, Max, you're both sort of surprising me and almost disappointing me, because I expected these coins to be a bit more beaten up and that would have been an interesting subject, but these are all really quite nice. So at the same time, I can't fault this. Thank you ever so much for giving me what you have. That was really quite cool. It's another 1922, and it is in much nicer condition than the others. I'll be interested to see what the reverse looks like. Let's take a look here. See if we have ourselves another mint mark. Let's take a look on the back. Oh, it's been painted red in places. I don't see a mint mark, but that's fine because this eagle is looking pretty fancy. I really like this design. I wish it would actually be used on a commemorative coin, to be honest, like maybe a special eagle release one year. That'd be quite cool. So yes, a 1922 peace dollar. Perfectly serviceable. In fact, the edge on this is still kind of sharp. So yeah, that is very nice. The penultimate piece is here. It's the last of the Eagles, and it is another fairly early date, a 1990. I can't really see that many imperfections from this sort of view, so let's take a look. Oh. Sorry, Maples. There we go. This is really shiny. Hopefully it hasn't been cleaned, like hopefully that's native mint luster, but that is really nice. You can see a few imperfections there on the fields, but again, not terrible. Again on the back here, there you go, you've got a bit of a smear. It looks like that might have been the end result of some fingerprints. But that's not terrible. That's really, really nice. Let's try and get an autofocus on this. Yeah, that is a perfectly good eagle. I'm quite happy to have this in my collection. At this point, really, I should start putting together like a album and see how many years I can get just by Culls alone. That might be an interesting project. It's the penultimate maple, and it has radial lines, so we know that this is a fairly recent one. Filled it out that way, there we go. So this is going to be a fairly recent one, again as said, because you have the lines, it's doing the thing with the camera again. It is a 2014. Didn't realise that this was, I could have sworn, to be honest, that the radial lines were only added in the last 2 or 3 years. So, okay. It's a 2014 maple, it's very much like the last one, it's got very light scratching, but again, I'm happy I've got this, because that's pretty much, minus the scratching, almost uncirculated, which is always nice to have. It's not BU, but it's the next best thing. just as I was about to stop the camera, I realised that yes, this does have milk spots. You can see it all over the top. It's a bit milky. Quite nice though. Doesn't detract really from the appearance. It's got the security symbol down there, and the maple itself is pretty much in excellent condition. So yes, on to the next coin. With the Morgans and Eagles both out of the game because I ended up only buying 3 of those, it's now between Peace and Maple. This one is what I would consider a cull. It's very, very worn. I would place this in AG category, so about good, the same as the $half I did a few videos ago. Let's take a look at the back and see if it's any different. So yep, there's a view of your front, the one that's completely gone from 1922. Oh god, yeah, that is really, really worn. I can't see any mint mark on there. Whether that is just the result of wear, or if that is actually really been worn off, or if it just wasn't even there at all, I won't know. So for now, I'm just going to assume that this is another Philadelphia peace dollar. So we've only had one mint-marked peace dollar so far. A bit unusual, really, because we only had one mint-markless Morgan dollar. So, yeah, there we go. There is our last peace dollar. And to cap things off at last, here it is, the final maple. It has radial lines, so we know it's a fairly recent one. Let's find out what year it's from. It is a 2019. This is a new maple. I wonder how on earth it was stored to get this bad. Like, I have loads of 2019 maples, which I detailed again in one of my videos about a month or 2 ago, and you will see that, to be honest, to see a milk-spotted 2019, because if I remember correctly, 2018 was where they supposedly changed the lines to make it, like, less likely that it would spot. So, yeah, that's kind of interesting. Yeah. Might want to take a look at that, RCM, you never know. Anyway, let's take a look on the front, and again, big spot there, which looks like there might have been a fingerprint, but still, it's nice. The maples are always nice, and to be honest, these aren't really as damaged as I thought they were going to be. So, let us now take a look at these coins as a whole, and decide which one of these coins is the Cull-iest of Culls. The results are in, and I've decided that in the end I am going to pick one winner from each coin type we've looked at today. For the Eagles, we have gone for none other than the 1989, mostly because in some respects the gold toning around it is quite nice, and of course it is never bad to have an early date Eagle in your collection. Very nice indeed. For the Morgan, I've gone for the second 1890 O that we found, mostly because this shows some of the wear and tear you can imagine that coins will have faced at the time. Who knows what actually did this to it, but it doesn't really detract from the coin at all. It is a perfectly nice worn coin, and of course as my first O mint mark coin along with the other one, it will be quite fondly kept in my collection. Oh, there we go. For the peace dollar, we've gone for the last one, because this is more or less what most people would consider a cull to be. It's gone lovely and smooth, a bit like the $half, and so really this is the quintessential cull, in my opinion. And for the maple, we have gone for this coin, which, to be honest, minus the obvious milk spotting, has no real right to be called a cull. It's in too good a condition, really. So you could argue that this is the least Cull-iest of culls, but at the same time, it has won in its own special way. And so that is more or less a good point to end off the video. I hope you all enjoyed this one as much as I enjoyed taking a look at these. Ordering these sorts of coins, it really is like a bit of a surprise in the sort of years you'll get because you never know. I did not expect to get that 1989, for example. That was a really pleasant surprise. So, as said before, hope you enjoyed this. I'm RCT3 Crashes 100, over and out.